Welcome to your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference. We explore topics, local festivals, arts and entertainment, and local news. For this program and much more, visit us online at yourlocalstream.com. That's yourlocalstream.com.
And as you can see here, there's a lot of people here, a lot of things going on, and got a DJ here. All kinds of activities that will be going on later on.
Hi, this is Nancy from First Baptist Church Monroe, and we're here with Relay for Life at Felton Park. We had to move it all inside for the survivor dinners because of the fact that the inclement weather was not going to cooperate with our event. Now we're going to have chicken dinner for everybody. Come on down and have a good meal, good dessert, good company, and then we're going to walk around the track and get some exercise with our survivors because God's good to all of us.
So they're going to be walking around in the gym instead of outside? Okay.
Walking around in the gym instead of outside because we had to move it all inside.
So there's plenty of food here for the survivors, right?
Oh yes, there's plenty of food for everybody. Come on down.
476.
I'll need to go. Thank you.
Sure. Please, thank you. Where would you like to do?
And the people are getting together now for pickup trash day here in Monroe.
We're all getting ready to start without anybody telling us.
We'll get started since it's about 9 or is 9. So this is by far the biggest crowd we've ever had for a volunteer event here for this particular one. It's also the best weather we've had. If I stumble over words, it's because our friend Paul here is videoing us, and I don't really do the official talking. But so this is culmination, the end of Great American Cleanup Week, Georgia City's week. We try to always kind of do this to where it coordinates on that Saturday at the end of those weeks. This is what, the fourth year I think we've done this. It grows every single year. So to everybody here this morning, thank y'all so much for coming. And real quick, there's a couple of people that I want to say thank you to that do this. This is what they do on a daily basis, plus cut all your right-of-ways, cut all the grass at your facilities, do any and everything else that is asked of them without a hitch. I've seen some things on social media where people say their tax money doesn't go towards, enough trash pickup. Well, you can't pay people just to pick up trash, or else you'd be paying every employee we've got to pick up trash because it's a never-ending cycle. As we grow, as we get things that are fun in this town, needed in this town, it's going to increase the amounts of trash on the sides of the road. So we try to do these events to bring a little bit of awareness, get a little bit of community involvement, to help us out, to help these guys out. I will tell you, and I posted on Facebook this morning, on average, about 6 people pick up 8,000 pounds of trash a month. That's roadsides, that's in your cemeteries, in your parks, that's your downtown, that's everything. That's a lot. And then they're cutting 250, 300 acres of grass a month. So, Chris Croy, the guy without the vest on, so he'll be a little bit easy to spot right there, is our Central Services Manager. Kind of oversees the entire operation. Let's see, I've got Trey. Raise your hand in the back. That's one of you guys that does it every day. Where's head James at? He's sitting down. Throw your hand up, stand up. That's another one of our guys that does. Daryl Brown is out here. He's been here for over 20 years, does it on a daily basis. Chris Schmidt is our parks manager. Dion, did Dion get here? Dion's our other parks guy. And we currently have an opening on our grounds crew, so we can fill out our 6th person. But those guys are or who does it, or who do it every single day. They're kind of the unsung heroes of what keeps town looking good. There's a lot of other people, but I think they go unnoticed a lot of time, and you know, you see a guy picking up trash, a guy cutting grass, and you don't think anything else of it. So I do want to give them a round of applause for everything they do. I will point out Roger Hillman's here from Solid Waste, who's also an instrumental part of picking up and cleaning up our town on a daily basis. But it's just, I don't know, it's kind of fun to see this many people here to help us out, to help those guys out. So today they get to ride around while you guys get to pick up the trash. So that's their little bit of reward, a little bit of thank you to them. And to get a little bit of direction on what we're going to do here. So we're going to spread out. I'm not going to necessarily tell you where to go. I'm going to say our cemeteries always need a little bit of TLC. Our parks should be in pretty good shape. Right-of-ways, street sides, that's where your attention is going to be focused, in your right-of-ways and on your streets. Downtown's probably in pretty good shape because we had an event this past Friday that we really worked hard to clean everything up, at which point everybody that was on the tour from other cities said this is one of the best downtowns, one of the cleanest downtowns they've ever seen. So that's a lot of hard work goes into that. But the guys will be riding around. They'll be collecting your bags. They'll be giving you fresh bags, so don't feel like you got to take 20, 30 of them with you. Yeah, and I'll turn it over to the mayor, and that's it, and I'll shut up.
Hey everybody, my name is John Howard. I appreciate all of your coming out. This last couple of days I've been in Tifton with the state boards, talking to all the other cities and mayors and councilmen, and what's really cool is between 1975-ish when I was growing up here, and we were not known as just being awesome, we were just known as being, and to change that to now, when every time I said I was from Monroe, folks looked at me and they were like, well, how do you do it? And it's very, very easy. It's because we have people like you that are actually helping us be awesome. It is also actually Logan Probst, Chris Bailey, and an entire team of just wonderful folks who work for the city. We will be, do we have Coon Ice coming today?
Yes.
Okay. Today's going to be, with these numbers, we'll be really quick knocking this out. I do really strongly recommend going to the cemetery. I spent some time there last year, so some of that really needs to get picked up, because people put the flowers out, the long-term permanent flowers, they get blown down the hill. So that's an area of concern. Got another area of concern on the other side of Southern Brewing, where there just tends to be parking and folks knock stuff out of their cars, and we're going to say it's unintentional. So that's probably a pretty good area to hit as well. But again, I just want to thank you for coming out.
So I appreciate you guys too.
Thank you all.
And yes, Kona Ice will be here about 11:15 set up. Everybody that's here, come back, get what you want. It's on the city. So thank you all, and disperse.
Hey, let's.
3.
And be safe too. Okay, now we're going to do this until I get all smiles and all eyes open.
Oh my
Come on, y'all hurry up and hop in the fence.
This is April the 29th, Saturday, and as you can see, there was a big turnout here at City Hall to clean up Monroe. I think it's the biggest group I think we've ever had for this cleanup. So everybody was excited, and we're going to clean up Monroe today. This is Paul Mullins with Walton Entertainment. As you can see, everybody seemed to have a good time today, and it was a nice sunshiny temperature, just right day.
Thank you all.
So, as I mentioned, I am the Community and School Garden Coordinator for the state. So I work in a lot of community gardens, and I work a lot with urban agriculture. And so we're going to switch and talk about tomatoes and peppers. So question for y'all, what is the #1 vegetable that homeowners like to grow?
Tomatoes.
What is the #1 pain-in-the-butt vegetable to grow?
Tomatoes.
Right, tomatoes. But nevertheless, I will just say to anybody, I mean, I grow tomatoes in barrels at my house. So tomatoes are what people want to grow. Tomatoes are hard to grow in Georgia. They're hard to grow in Georgia. So what I thought when I was asked to do this presentation is I'm going to give you guys some hints and tricks to help you get through tomato season with a good harvest and less problems. All right, so that's how I wanted to approach it today. So the first thing that I see when I visit people is tomatoes are planted very close together. And it's tempting, right? Usually you'll buy a tomato, and this is a big one. I usually kind of get the smaller ones. Bonnie has those smaller ones. And you know, you have this big area, and you're tempted to do this because all you can think about is, man, those BLTs are going to be so good. Or I'm going to put together some sauce, or however. But think ahead. You want to plant them far apart because they're going to get big. If you get determinate tomatoes, they are smaller, but they don't put out quite as many tomatoes, and they'll put all their blooms and tomatoes out pretty much at once. Most of us, like a lot of tomatoes, we plant indeterminate, and they get big and viney, and you get a lot of tomatoes. If you plant like this is one disease waiting to happen, because air can't get through here to dry off the leaves when they're wet. The leaves that are wet can stick together, and with no airflow and lots of moisture, fungal diseases are calling your name. So it's just a matter of time before this tomato crop area is just not going to look good anymore. The question is, did I tell them that? I did say we can prune this a little bit and get a little more airflow. Another thing is tomatoes, believe it or not, are finicky about their temperatures, especially their soil temperatures. And this particular community garden had these planted, had the cages ready, had them a little bit far apart, but that is bare dirt, bare soil. There is no mulch in there at all. What that means is any moisture in that soil is going to rapidly evaporate, and the soil temperatures are going to swing wildly. If you have mulch down, you have helped the moisture stay, and you've helped even out some of those soil temperatures. We do know from studies that living in Blairsville, even in the summer, we have cool nights. And we grow very, very good corn and very good tomatoes up there because at night, the temperatures cool off, giving that plant a rest, giving it a little break. Down here, you guys stay warm all night long. So anything that you can do to baby them and help that temperature even out will help those plants. So consider using mulch. Consider using fresh mulch every year. And I know that's a pain, that's expensive, that's hard to do. But if you have any disease or any insects that have overwintered in that mulch, it'd be nice to move them out and have a fresh start over. So definitely consider using mulch for your tomato plants. Do not plant tomato plants in the same place every year. And when I'm talking to community gardeners and they've been assigned a 4x8 plot, they don't want to talk to me about that. They don't want to hear that because they want tomatoes. But if you plant tomatoes in the same spot over and over again, you are inviting one of the many pathogens that attack tomatoes to just come right in and stay. If you have a community garden, what I recommend for them is that you rotate who grows the tomatoes each year. You get a lot of them, and you share. But you don't grow the same every year. And if you want to get really scientific and do a really great job with rotation, the first thing you would rotate is some root crops. So after you've grown tomatoes in that area, the next year think about things like radishes and carrots, things that grow underground. And then the next year, think about some legumes, some beans, some peas, and then you can go back to your tomatoes. So those things help with the soil nutrition in that area, and they also attract different pests. So you're kind of fooling them a little bit. So our founding fathers did crop rotation. We have to do crop rotation if we're going to continue to get a good crop. When you water your tomato plants, I know it's really fun on a Saturday morning to go out and look at your crops with the hose, and you're just watering away, thinking about, man, I could do this, I could grow my own food. When you water above, you are actually creating little micro areas for fungal pathogens. Try the best you can to just water at the base of that plant to keep those leaves dry. By doing that, the plant's going to get more water, which it's going to need, and you're going to not have all of those disease issues on your leaves. The very best time to water is in the morning because it gives the plant a chance to dry off. If you water when you get home from work and you're late getting home, like it's 8 o'clock and you're out there with the hose over watering, and then it gets dark and it cools down, then you're going to build up disease. I guarantee it. So try and water at the base of your plant. Try and water early in the morning if you can. We all can't do that. I'm at work early in the morning, so I have to water in the evening. But I always try and keep those leaves nice and dry. When you are looking at your plants, and I believe these are marked, they are, breeders have done a great job to breed resistance into some of these diseases that we get. And if you look at a seed catalog or you look at your plant label, you will see some of these letters and you may not have even known what they were for. But if it has a letter, that means that it is built to have disease resistance to that disease. These are fungal diseases for the most part. So Fusarium wilt is an F. That is, we have it all over Georgia. So if you get a plant that has an F on it, that means you have a head start. Does it mean that this plant is Fusarium wilt proof? No. It means it's resistant. But if you have piled enough of that disease pathogen on that plant, it will probably show some disease symptoms for you. So look at these numbers, look at these letters, look for them on your plants. If you have planted tomatoes in the past and they have had a disease and you've taken them to Joel and Joel tests to find out what you have, then the next time you buy a plant, make sure it has the letter for that disease. That makes sense? Just to give you a head start, right? And weedy plots are places for pests to hide. I know at the end of the season, it is so easy to do nothing. And in some cases, that's okay. If you're talking about nesting for bees or whatever, but most of the time I will show up at community gardens and they just said, I'm done. It's too hot, I'm out of here. And this is what it looks like. And that is just like, okay, if I'm a leaf-footed bug, I'm gonna just hang out here all season. And then I'll wait until they plant the plants and I'm interested. And that's what happens all the time. So even if it's hot, even if you don't want to do it, make sure you're taking care of everything so that you have the best chance for success. Some of the things that I've seen, southern bacterium blight. A lot of these wilts or blights look like you haven't given the plant enough water. And what happens is the fungal pathogens get up in that vascular system and they block it. So even if you put gallons and gallons of water, the plant is still going to look like this because that water is not reaching all the way up in the plant because of a pathogen. So if you start getting anything that looks like this and you're watering enough, then take that plant, Joel, and have him look at it and do some testing to find out what you have. If you have something like this, there's nothing you can do. You can't go out and buy a fungicide and spray your crop and have a crop that year. You're done. So you might as well figure out really what it is and prevent as best you can for the next year. Boy, it makes it sound like we don't want to grow these at all, doesn't it? They're a lot of fun. Fusarium wilt is, I see it all the time, and it's the same type of thing. It looks like this. The plant just is dying. No matter what you've done to it, no matter what fertilizer, no matter how much you water, it looks like this. That is another fungal pathogen that is causing vascular blockage. So you're never gonna get that fixed. If you garden in 4x8 beds and you have removed this and you said, all right, I'm done, I'm going to come back next year, this pathogen will overwinter in that soil and even have spores in the bed itself. So crop rotation is very important. Late blight disease, another one that I see quite a bit. Again, look at the, you can tell right here, nothing's going up that stem. You can see what the plant leaves look like, and any tomatoes, you're going to see the pathogen. Some of our insects, these are leaf-footed bugs. You can tell because the back of their legs look like leaves. They have some sucking mouth parts that will actually go in the tomato and suck out some of its juice. And so your tomatoes get pockmarked. Even your peppers will get pockmarked. You can still eat them. There's nothing in the tomato that the leaf-footed bugs have put in there that will bother you. But if you're selling them at the farmer's market or you're super picky, you don't want these insects. And if they continue to grow and multiply, you're going to have a lot of them, and they can do a lot of damage to a lot of your crops. Tomato hornworm looks, and these, I was in a hurry. This was my old garden. That's what they look like right here. If you see one of those and you're thinking, oh, I wonder what that is, and the next day you come out and there's no tomatoes at all, that was a tomato hornworm, right? But as an entomologist, I love to see this. This is an example of a parasitic wasp. What she will do is she will put her ovipositor inside this tomato hornworm while it's doing its thing, killing your tomato plants, and lay eggs. And this is a really cool story, y'all. So as those eggs hatch and the little larvae emerge, which are little worms, something happens chemically to the brain of this crazy insect that has it slow down but not die as these larvae eat the inside of this insect. So the insect wants to keep this hornworm alive long enough that the babies get good nutrition. What you're seeing here is the babies have spun cocoons, and these are all going to be more parasitic wasps. So if you see this on your plant, you don't have to remove it because it can't do much more damage. It's just hanging on. It's just barely living. And all these that will emerge are looking for other tomato hormones. But if you see this with none of that, you better pick it off. If you come back tomorrow, you will have no tomato plants. The world of entomology is vicious. So again, we've got some great plants from Bonnie's here. So I'm going to talk a little bit, I'm going to talk a little bit about what you do when you get your tomato plant home to help you get a good start. So what they have brought us, I looked earlier, they are really good specimens of plants. There's no evidence of any disease, multiple leaves, all sorts of wonderful things. So the first thing I want you to do when you get your tomato plant is you're going to see in the crook of the crotch of some of these leaf areas a tiny leaf here. So you have the crotch angle is what we call it. This is a leaf, and you have another thing right here. Take that out. All right, you're gonna call it pruning, so you sound like you're doing a really big important thing, but just take that out because you don't need more things growing in here. The nutrition needs to go to the leaves that are already there. These healthy, wonderful things. This tiny little leaf here, we don't need it. So I'm just gonna, whoever gets this one, I've already done your work for you. We're gonna take these out. All right, then the next thing you're gonna do is when you dig your hole, you're gonna make sure that you know, I'm gonna have a big plant. I'm gonna need room for big roots. So I'm gonna make sure whatever area I choose has nice loose soil really deep. I'm not gonna dig a hole like this and have compacted clay around and stick that tomato in and start looking through recipe books. You're gonna need to do some work. You're gonna need to put that hoe in there. You're gonna need to get your tiller. You're gonna need to turn it over. And I'm gonna take this plant out. I have some stuff here, but let's see if I can do this and show you. All right, so what we have here are some roots that are starting to go all the way around here. We don't want those roots to continue to do that. We want to break them up. So you're gently going to use your fingers and you're going to pick them apart. Now, if you break them, don't panic, but be gentle. If you were doing this with a tree or something else, you would actually get a knife and cut them because they wouldn't let you do this. But you see, I'm just kind of loosening them up a little bit. And when you put them in the hole, then they're already looking to spread out. They're not going to try and stay wrapped around the soil they already know because you're introducing them into new soil. Another hint is tomatoes are amazing in the fact that they will, where their leaves are, the top part, they will make new roots. And because a tomato really is all about how healthy the roots are, I would take this tomato plant and using some scissors or something sharp and clean, disease-free, I would take off this bottom leaf right at where it hits the stem, and this leaf where it hits the stem, maybe this one, and I would bury this plant in the ground this deep. Because where I took off those leaves, that plant will make roots. And the more roots you have, the more tomato plant's going to get through July and August when it's really hot. So at first, your tomato garden is going to look sparse. You're going to have them far apart. You're going to have them buried up to here, and you're going to be like, oh, is this going to work? But these plants are going to put down big roots. You're going to have a lot of airflow, and that is the best thing you can do to make sure that you are limiting disease issues on those plants. So after that, when you've done it correctly, then you can go start looking at recipes. So that is really the best way to start your tomato plant there. And as I said, Bonnie did a great job. All the plants out there look great. You'll have great success with them. Pepper plants, one other thing about tomatoes and peppers. This pepper has a bloom, so that's what reminded me of it. We are told that these are self-pollinating. We are told they don't need a pollinator. That is incorrect. Self-pollinating only means the male parts of the flower and the female parts of the flower are close together. And wind can help with some pollination, but research shows the more pollinators you have with these plants, the more tomatoes you're going to get, the juicier and the more flavorful. Well, how can they be more flavorful? Well, this is very interesting. For some plants, when an insect lands on the plant around the flower parts and moves with its feet, the plant knows that an insect is there. The plant knows that insects are helping the species survive, and they actually put out hormones that help make the fruit sweeter, the tomatoes tastier. Did y'all know that? Isn't that really cool? That is why our strawberries are better when they're not, think about, you've had strawberries from a greenhouse, you've had tomatoes from a greenhouse, you've had tomatoes and strawberries in the garden. Which tastes better? Right. So make sure that you have pollinators around. So pepper plants are a little bit different. They're not going to get, depending on what you pick, they're not going to get that big. I do like to cage them because when they start getting fruit, especially if you're getting the bigger bell peppers, that tends to make the plant move. So you can cage them as well. I like to have a variety of different peppers because I like bell peppers are good to just eat on. It's great if you have chili peppers to cook with. You can actually take the chili peppers, the cayennes, and at the end of the season when we know a frost is coming but you have a lot more on, dry them. You can hang them up and dry them and then put them in a jar and have chili peppers all year long. So one other thing, because I'm getting close here time-wise, is remember that whatever chemicals you put in the ground or on your plant can be on your fruit. So I like to have it so when my kids visit, they can grab something and they can take a bite right from the get-go there. So just be mindful about what you're putting in there. If you have any questions about a disease or an insect or anything, Joel is amazing. He's right here. He's a great resource for insect ID or plant ID. If you're interested in what varieties of crops grow best in your area, he has a list. And the university's all the time doing testing on different varieties. Up in Blairsville, where I work at the Georgia Mountain Research and Education Center. We have 420 acres of 40 research plots. And the results of those plots come directly to the public. So anything new that's coming down, all this new precision ag that we're doing, Joel has access to it. So please make sure you're using him for everything that you need. And thank you so much for your time today. I hope you have some facts to take home with you today.
Good morning. Thank you for watching. I'm Executive Director for the Partnership for Families, Children, and Youth, Dina Huff. Sorry, I should have said that first. And I have my dearest friend here with me, Miss Cindy Little, Director of FISH, Faith in Serving Humanity. No stranger to the city of Monroe or Walton County at all. So I wanted Cindy to, and we're here in her lovely space this morning, and I wanted Cindy to give us some updates about what's going on with FISH and with our homelessness situation in Monroe and Walton County. So, welcome, Cindy.
Thank you, Dina. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you guys. We're seeing things that we hadn't seen before. I've been with FISH now 21 years, and I've never seen the homeless like we do. Normally, we'd have maybe 2 to 3 calls a month. I'm on call 24/7 with the 911 center, but now we get that a day. And we've had as many as 14 to 15 in the motel, at one time. Since the end of September of this past year to now, we've spent over $100,000 on keeping someone in shelter. We help with bus tickets if there's family that they can go home to that will take care of them and give them a chance to, regroup and get started again. We help them relocate here in town. When we talk about our homeless now, it's like there's different flavors, if that's a good way to say, of our homeless. Not everybody goes in a box. It used to be most of them would be transients or something like that. Now it's our home folks that are homeless. Companies have come in from out of state that have bought up properties, rental properties, and just tripled the rent. And our folks are on a fixed income. A lot of them are elderly that have been renting for a while, and they can't do it. With the inflation, with food, gas, and all of this, and they're on fixed incomes, they can't do it. And so they're getting evicted. So what we do is we try to get them in the motel, get them stable, make sure they've got the needs that they need met, like food and those kinds of things, and then help them to relocate and find something that is economical. That is really hard because there's not a whole lot. And when I talk about economical, I'm talking about rent is $900 or less. So if you ever see any property, please call me, 404-557-8860. And you can go to the FISH website, www.fishofwalton.org, and that'll give you contact information too, because we are in desperate need of affordable housing. I don't like to call it that because there's a stigma with affordable, like that's bad, people only live in affordable. No, it's people that are economically challenged and on fixed incomes, and that's the best they can do. And that doesn't make them bad people. That's how it is. So if you see anything like that or have anything like that you're renting, please let me know. Also, I am in desperate need of RV sites. We just got back, if y'all remember, we sent the RVs to Kentucky when the tornado hit. There was no place for anybody to stay, no motels, no nothing. And this beautiful community come together and raised over $100,000 and sent 4 RVs there. 2 are now back with us because they are fishes, and so we've had them cleaned up and renovated, ready for the next go-around. How did we know that we would need them here so desperately? So that we can use it for transitional housing. And transitional housing is much better than a shelter, because with a shelter, they're just laying around. Here in Walton County, there's no bus system, so they can't get in and out. Guys, one family can suck the resources out of a community in trying to get them to get their Social Security or get them over here to help them get things started and navigate the system. And we do that. We have a FISH Uber driver We have Pastor Rod Johnson, who is incredible to help with these things for us too. But you can't do a shelter, because if you have a shelter, they will come from all over the United States of America. That's not what we can, our community can't handle that. What we are here for is to serve the citizens of Walton County and anyone in the 30052 zip code, even if it bleeds into Gwinnett a little bit. So the thing here is that we have really good people. My hardest problem that I have right now is the sickest of the sick. Those that have edema, leg edema, blood clotting, because they're sleeping in their cars. And we have them approved to get help with their rent. They do have some income, but we need something that's economical for them. And bless their hearts, sleeping in their car or sleeping in the woods is not the healthiest thing for them. They're not acute, meaning they're not to be in the hospital. And if you go to the local hospitals, Athens, here in Monroe, wherever, you're going to see when you go into the ER, there are gurneys in the hallways. So these people are acute, need to stay, and they're waiting on rooms. So we don't need to tie up their rooms with individuals that just need recovery at home, but unfortunately they don't have a home. So we're doing everything in our power. God is continuing to bless Fish through the wonderful giving of this community, so we're able to gird and keep this going. But we need your help. We do need the finances for the Fish for Kids program this summer, because we're seeing that our Backpack Buddies program has grown by several hundred kids needing the weekend feeding because of the inflation of food prices and the gas price thing. And so we know this summer that we're going to have even more kids. And just think about what we usually paid for food, and we have to have prepackaged and everything for these kids, is going to be twice as much this year. So we're facing that, as well as we're facing the homeless issue. So it's really been eye-opening to meet each of these individuals and to see where they come from. They're really good people, and they're really trying, and we want to be hope to them. We want to show them that they are loved and that they are children of God, and they are our brothers and sisters in Christ, and we want to help them. We didn't even talk about the mental illness part of it. It's a huge part of this homeless thing. People that are schizophrenic, people that are paranoid, people that are bipolar, people that are depressed. And bless their hearts, they're trying to pull A and B together so they can get to C. But they need that help and that guidance, and it's difficult for them. So we're being those hands and feet for them. We're showing them Christ in everything that we do. But we need economical housing. And I will say that we're pulling in city leaders, we're pulling in the county, and this is definitely something that is on everybody's radar. But we need your help. If you know of any rental property, please, Fish is going to do deposits for these individuals, and they do go through an application process. We do make sure that these are individuals that are local homeless, meaning we're not, folks coming from New York, Chicago, and all of these places, we're like, hey guys, we're maxed out. We're doing all we can do. So let us help you get back to your family. Because people are finding once they get down here, they can't find anything they can afford, and it's best to go back home. So, I don't know, my heart reaches out to each of you to please help us any way that you can. If you can come and volunteer, the thrift stores are incredible, because what we're doing is we're getting these folks relocated from the streets into a home, for a forever home, and helping fully stock their homes, get them ready to go again. We do not set them up for failure. We make sure that they're going to be okay on their own. We are a hand up, we are not a hand out. And so we're thankful to the good Lord above for his provision, but we do it together. Just like we were able to take 4 RVs, $100,000 raised, send to Kentucky, and we didn't realize what a blessing they were going to be when they came back home to those around us. So if you have any RV sites or know of them that are open, please give us a call, 404-557-8860. And or you can send me an email at cindy.little@fishofwalton.org. And more than anything, we need your prayers. These individuals need your prayers. Sleeping in your car at night is scary. We make sure that if we know of any children that are in cars, we get them out of there. We get them somewhere safe. We don't want anybody in their cars, but right now some situations, unfortunately, we have to do that. So continue to pray for the Ministry of Fish, and thank you for your giving. Thank you for your time, and we appreciate all efforts on behalf of these. They're beautiful people that are just in a bad place. And so thank you for all you do, and we love our community and how we all come together to help.
Well, just a couple of questions, Cindy. I know that y'all have a food, you have a soup kitchen. And can you just share the hours and days those
Sure.
are available for those that might not know about that?
When we started the soup kitchen a couple of years back, we were like, do we really need one in Walton County or not? And we would have about 10 to 15 to come. And back then it was just 2 days a week. And so now it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at the First Christian Church, which is on Hammond Drive across from Tim Stewart Funeral Home. And it's in their gymnasium, and now we're feeding as many as 50 to 55 a day.
Wow.
Our homeless that are in their cars and in the woods, it gives them a hot, nutritious meal. So the soup kitchen has been, Mike and Sally Eccles have just been such a blessing. They kind of head that up through the First Baptist Church, and we have some lovely people that come and give of their time, and they get a really good, nutritious meal, which they need so desperately. And then, of course, we have the food pantry at 700 South Madison. Our numbers have really grown there with folks needing that. Our Seniors in Crisis program there, we deliver to our seniors that cannot come and get the food. Because it's a lot. We give a lot of food, a lot of fresh vegetables, meats, and juices and things like that. So it's a blessing that they get. They can have the food there, as well as they have a hot meal option too as well during the week.
Okay. Well, thank you. And
thank you for having me, Dina.
It's always an honor to work with Fish and help, and I think as long as I can remember, we've partnered with Fish, and Cindy's one of my board members, and couldn't do my job without her and all of my board members. So thank you for all that you do for.
Well, and we're in
county.
This new renovated place, and what we did when we were renovating, the Lord just put it on my heart to put in a shower and a washer and dryer. We didn't have a clue that all this was going to hit like this.
Right.
And so that has been a blessing, especially to those that are in their cars and in the woods, so that they can come and get a shower during the week, drop off their clothes, and we can keep them washed for them. And this makes it helps them to be healthier, and gives them back a little dignity as well, and that's
hope.
important.
It gives them hope.
It does, and to know that someone cares.
Yeah.
So we're very blessed to have that as part of this new renovations as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you again.
Thanks, Tina.
And thank you all for joining us this morning. If you have any questions for us at the partnership, you can always give me a call at 770-207-3175. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jody Johnson. I'm here with a Recreation Report. Today I have a special guest. This is probably our best volunteer and best example for our senior program that we have. It's our senior fitness, and it's John Ward. So thank you for coming on, John.
Thank you, man.
And how many years have you been doing our senior road?
12 years now.
12 years
Yes.
of good now. And would you say that it's made a difference in your life?
Oh, yeah. My heart's a lot stronger. I feel more fit every day now. It's a lot better.
What would you say to somebody that maybe watching us today that says, Well, I don't know that I could get started in that program. How do they get started, and is it too much for somebody to get started, and do they
No.
gradually get into it?
No, you just walk in and do what you can do. You don't have to be as good as the next person or anything,
What other
You go at your
aspects
own
other
speed.
than just the fitness? What else does the senior aerobics class bring you?
It's like a family, I know that. We all love each other, It's really great. We all want to help each other, It's awesome.
And what besides the social aspect and the physical aspect, what kind of events do y'all have that y'all do together?
We do, plus, you talking about our parties?
Yeah, they have some good parties.
We have a lot of parties.
Yeah, they decorate. They're the best decorators I've ever seen.
Yeah.
For just about all the major holidays and Halloween and
Yeah.
Christmas and Thanksgiving, y'all, they really bring a nice spread and everybody brings some food.
And they have guest speakers come in like the last one, the CPR class.
Yes.
That was great. And the one on, they help you watch out for people on computers stealing your information.
Yeah,
and
the
everything.
fraud, people calling
Fraud.
and then they had one on finance.
Finance, yeah, that was real good.
So there's a lot of things that we do other than just aerobics with our
Right.
senior aerobics class, and now we have 6 classes a week. It's I know there's 5 days during the week. We actually do 2 on with an addition that we have social circle. So there's 2 in Loganville, and then we have 2 in Monroe, and now we have 2 in social circle. And Jane Biko and Valerie Ermetz do a great job of getting involved. We also have a Parkinson's class that meets a few days a week in Loganville and Monroe. And we have, there's 12 to 15 folks in there, and it's really made a difference in their life.
They
as well.
work 5 days a week, I think, Parkinson's.
Yeah, and you help out with both.
Yeah. It
He's-
helps him a lot.
We see John. He's not only he's kind of the assistant to the instructor.
Yeah.
He
I'm
gets
a
out.
helper.
He sets up the chairs. He's in
Yeah.
front. And he shows everybody the moves. So has it helped your dance
Yeah.
life?
Yes.
So you're now able to.
I've gone to dances and it helps a lot.
You're able to get up and get moving. Well, we certainly appreciate it. We're glad that you're able to come in and be on the show and explain that to
Yeah.
us. We hope that you'll find a class. You can go online. We do have some of the instruction online that you could do it from your home if you don't want to come out. But we really think that coming out and being part of the class from a physical standpoint and a social standpoint is the
Yes.
best thing for
Good
you.
social. People want to be with people,
Yeah, you
Instead
learn to
of
make
being
friends
alone.
quick. You can sit down in a chair and do all the exercises, or
That's
you can
right.
get up and move around.
You can sit all you want to,
Yeah. The music's not too loud, but it is loud enough to hear, and it makes you want to get up and do some moving.
That's right. It's great. I love it.
So go online, our classes. Can you tell us the dates and times of all the classes real quick? Remember
Okay.
that? And Monday and Thursday is in
Loganville,
at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. And then Tuesday,
And Friday
Monroe.
is in.
And Wednesday, the social circle.
Correct. Monday and Wednesday is in social circle. On Mondays it's at 2 o'clock. And then on Wednesdays it's at 10 o'clock.
10, yeah.
So there is a class near you, I promise you,
Sure
that you
is.
can get into. So we appreciate you. Thank you for coming out.
Thank
and
you, brother.
we will see you again soon. I told
Okay.
you this wouldn't be that difficult.
Yeah, he's a good band right here.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Kenny Sargent with Keep Walton Beautiful, the Walton County Recycling Center. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. First off, I wanted to thank everyone that came out for our Earth Day event in Loganville. We had a great turnout. We had a lot of volunteers come out and help. A big thank you to the city of Loganville for allowing us to have it there at City Hall. Also a big thank you to the Loganville Lions Club for partnering with us for the event. And they also had some volunteer help from the Walton County Civil Air Control Squadron, and thankful to have those people out. They helped unload all the cars. We had quite a few cars. We're estimating we had about 70 cars come in through those 2 hours. We collected about 3,100 pounds of paper. Just a great event, and it's one that we're hoping we can continue to do every year there in Loganville. So again, thank you to everyone who came out. And also, I did want to remind people that we are taking mattresses and box springs now here at the center. They are $10 a piece for the mattresses and the box springs. They can't be torn to shreds or holes all the way through the mattress. I mean, you know, they do need to be in fairly good condition. We really don't want them coming in just soaking wet. They aren't, you know, these mattresses are being reused. They get stripped down, recovered, and they're sent overseas. So they do have to be in somewhat good condition for us to accept them, but we did want everyone to be aware that we were taking those here again. And it is that time of year we're having to turn around a lot of cars that are coming out with limbs and grass clippings and all that type thing. Just a reminder, those need to go to an inert landfill. Give us a call out here at 770-267-1421. We'd be happy to direct you to the nearest one to you. So, like I always say, come on out and see us. Let us help you get started recycling. Let us find you some new things to recycle if you're already an avid recycler. But come out and see us. Give us a call anytime if you have any questions. And until next time, take care.
Hi, welcome to Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. Our high school show is installed, and as usual, our art teachers here in Walton County has just drawn out the best of the best from our high school students, and it is such a good show. It's one of our best shows in terms of creativity and execution and use of materials and just everything that the kids put into this show. You may or may not know if I've mentioned this in the past, but SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design, they'll come and judge the show. They actually have already judged the show. They'll be here on May 18th, which is the last day of the show. We have the reception that night, and everything will be gone. It's one of the heartbreaking things around here is when parents come in on May 19th and the show is gone. And it happens pretty much with every show. So parents, pay attention to the emails that you get from your teachers, to our information here that we give out. When the show is over, the show is over and it's not here anymore. And it happens with our elementary, our middle, our high school show. Parents show up and the show's not here. So this show ends May 18th. We'll have the reception that night, and awards will be presented by representatives from SCAD, and it's a really special time. The other things we have coming up this summer are we have a creative writing course that's going to start in June. We have a watercolor course that begins. The new course begins in June. We have our summer art camps in June and July. Nothing in August, so only in June and July we have our summer art camps. So if you come in and pick up a class list, go online to monroewaltonarts.org, give us a call. Hey, we are happy to walk you through what we have. The easiest thing, though, is to go online. So we hope to see you soon, and art for all.
Hi everyone, my name is Jake Connor. I am the new Family and Consumer Sciences agent here in Walton County. Lots of people have asked me what is Family and Consumer Sciences. So we cover all different areas. So that includes food, like food safety and nutrition. We do lots of stuff with money management, time management. We help folks with their relationships, either parenting or interpersonal relationships. And we also do stuff to try and help you keep a healthy home. So trying to control moisture, mold growth, pests. If any of those things sound interesting, or if you have any questions about what a Family and Consumer Science agent does, please give us a phone call here at the UGA Extension office, and we'll be happy to help you out.
Good morning, Walton County. It's Michelle Patrick here with Walton County 4-H. I just wanted to remind you that we do still have some spots for our Cloverleaf Camp. That's going to be the 3rd week of June at Burton 4-H Center, which is on Tybee Island. So we'll be there from Monday to Friday, and our students who are in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, so if you have any 4th, 5th, and 6th graders that would like to go, what they're going to be doing down there is they're going to take some wildlife classes, go on a marsh tour, do a dolphin cruise, dissect a squid if they want to. So a full week. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, and we do only have about 25 spaces left. So please call our office if you'd like to sign up. It's 770-267-1324. And then also I'd like to just remind everybody that our summer fun days are going to be launched soon on our social media pages. So on Facebook and Instagram at Walton County 4-H. So a few things that we're going to do, we'll head back to Critter Fixers. So if you don't know what Critter Fixers is, go ahead and Google it. It's a show on HGTV and Nat Geo, where these two country vets do all sorts of work on different animals. They'll, work on snakes and hawks and squirrels and dogs, and they're just absolutely phenomenal, and they've invited us back. So we're gonna do a tour, and then we're gonna go eat at Yoder's in Montezuma. So we're excited about that. We're gonna go do a hike and head to the Bear Hollow Zoo and go to UGA. So many different things. And actually, thank you to the Walton County Foundation. All of these programs will be funded this year, fully funded. So at no cost to 4-Hers, our summer fun days are gonna be an absolute blast. Give us a call if you're interested, and watch our Facebook and our Instagram for updates on that. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Extinction is forever. To save America's most iconic and imperiled species from extinction, we must fight for their future. Fight to save the natural lands that wildlife call home. Fight to limit pollution. Fight for smart development. Fight for their future. And fight for ours. For so goes nature, so goes us.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens. Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Untreated hearing loss affects our mobility. It increases the risk of falls by 50%. Good hearing health is essential to staying engaged and doing what we love. Hear well and stay vital. Get a hearing health check every year.